What is up, everybody? It's your boy Pyro. Today, we're checking out Chambers' newest album. This is Goodbye. Well, I sure hope not. We just got here. We just got here. The label is Pure Noise. It's dropped on March 27th of 2026, the current year. Obviously, metalcore, mathcore, maybe a little bit of beatdown, hardcore-wise. Producer Randy LaBeouf and writer Jacob Lilly. This is my first time encountering this band at all. We have 12 songs, 29 minutes, and 21 seconds. I say let's get this.
Forever is too much for a soul to endure.
Every single second, almost midnight.
Okay, I love that little bit at the end there. That was nice. There's some nice, like, real depth to the. Definitely seeing that, like, beatdown aspect, and I do enjoy that. There was just some, like, frantic. I don't think frantic might not be the right word. Metallic kind of sounds coming from the guitars and stuff that I wasn't a huge fan of. Just being totally honest here. But the vocals were in a pretty solid place. The beatdown aspect is nice. I don't think I'm going to rate track on this one just because this is a little different than a lot of the stuff I have heard. But I will give you a full rating on how I feel about the album at the end. I might give some scattered ratings. I'm not sure, but at the moment I'm a little confused. I need to feel out the album a little bit more. Scarlet Ink is next.
I lost myself when I broke your fragile.
Okay. Honestly, loving the vocals. Like I like where they're at. It's the metallic sounds, guys. The metallic sounds. The metallic sounds. Oh my gosh! I wish I have so many bands that are in the metalcore area that have that like real high pitched metallic twinge sound. I believe it's a guitar doing that. It's just not for me. Um, I don't know. It has such a big sound here too, though. Such a deep, like some, like you can just feel like some like a breakdown's gonna be really nice. Like I imagine they have some solid breakdowns. I just gotta learn to get over the metallic sounds. I'm trying to debate. I think I'm gonna put this one in a playlist. I think this one is gonna go in a playlist because I'm gonna see if I can work past that. Violins is next, and this one has some solid spins on it here. Let's give it a whirl.
You ever feel like nothing good was ever gonna happen to you?
Yeah, and nothing did. So what?
I wanted to hear the violins on this one, guys. I really did. I really wanted to hear the violins. I like this song the best so far, easily. But same kind of issues that I'm running into. I'm not going to just, keep piling that up. It's obviously part of the genre, and it just happens to be that it's not something I really enjoy. Nevertheless, we're going to keep an open mind here. We're going to keep it going. I'm probably going to give this entire record another spin after I'm done with it here, just to see if I can kind of warm myself up to that, some of those, like those, oh, shit. But yeah, I definitely, I want to be clear that it's not so much an artist thing that I'm having a problem with. It's my own fucking brain. Vanity. Okay. Whew, boy. The drumming here, I gotta say, is solid throughout. I gotta give it to the drummer here. Drums are keeping me intrigued at least. Yeah, the vocals aren't bad either. Like the vocals, there's some spots where, of course, I'm not, but I'm liking those deeps. You know, that's solid for sure. Surveillance is the next one. Okay. I always feel like somebody's watching me. This is probably the first one straight up outright that I'm just did not like at all. Did not like this one even a little bit. But I also do want to add though. I mean, we're almost halfway. You know what? Let's keep it going here, and I'll break it down my thoughts here maybe after this track so far in the first half. Parting gift. Okay, I'm telling you guys, the drums here are freaking sexy. Drums are done really nicely. I love where they're at, like in the mix as well. They don't sound like too overly polished, and they have a bit of rawness there, but not too much where it sounds kind of disjointed with the rest of the sound. Obviously, this is much more of a salt your senses kind of music than I typically listen to. I wonder if that's mathcore. There has been a few times I've listened to some mathcore stuff, and it was not for me. Typically, my heavy listening, I like not so much melodic, more what's a good example? I guess like Texas in July, August Burns Red are some first things that popped to my mind. Where you have somewhat melodic, but it's also metalcore-ish, still pretty heavy. But I mean, I get into your heavier shit too, deathcore to some extent. But yeah, the just off the wall bonkers shit that's happening here on some of these songs are just too much for my brain to comprehend. Just gotta be upfront. Gotta be upfront about it, guys. Gotta be upfront about it. This one was I don't know. This one's not bad. I'm gonna put this one in a playlist and see how I feel about that. I think this one and Violins will go into a playlist, and I'm gonna see what I think about them. But of course, like I said, we'll see on my second spin of the album after this how things go. Let's go ahead and move on to Angel. I gotta say, I'm loving the size of the tracks. So the size of the tracks are very very easy to take in. So I gotta give them credit there for sure.
Can't help but ask why. Why couldn't God have done something about this?
I like this. I liked it. This is probably my favorite one off the track, off the album so far. There were some interesting, weird vocal things they did throughout this, which was kind of cool. especially in like that first half of the song. That nice little sample there at the end. Like, yeah, there were still some things here that annoyed me for sure, but I could see myself getting past that, listening to that. So I'm gonna put that in a playlist right meow. Pale Blue Y. Almost like Pale Blue Eyes, Velvet Underground. Almost like that, but not quite. This one hurt. This one hurt pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. That one that was brutal. The old eardrums. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. This one's a miss for me as well. Almost on the level of Surveillance. Not quite there though. Not quite there. Let's go ahead with Without a Trace is next. catch that scream like halfway through. That was like very, I don't know, almost reminded me of something you hear in deathcore. This was definitely a little bit more manageable for me. There were still elements, of course, that I didn't care for. But I do think that this one was a pretty solid track. I'm not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. I don't know. Yeah, like I said, first. Yeah, I don't know. We're going to keep it going. Resurrect, featuring Vincent Bennett, which is, I believe he's from, oh my God, I always forget how to pronounce it correctly, but the ASEA strain, the ASEA strain. You guys can correct me in the comments if I fudge that up, but I absolutely love this band, so very curious to see what Vincent's up to. Let's get it.
Every fucking
Okay, there was some pretty gnarly stuff in there, especially vocally. Some odd stuff too that kind of worked. I'm gonna throw that one on playlist too. See what happens with that. Death Without Departure, 48 seconds. We're gonna take this right into the next track. Okay, guys. We did it. We made it through the record. This is Goodbye by Chamber. First thing before I dive in, drop down in the comments on your opinions on this album. Love it, hate it. I want to hear about it. That's what makes this fun in general, is when we have a little give and take. As you can imagine, this is not exactly my favorite heavy sound, to say the very least. And it's not so much aimed at the artist here. It's aimed at the genre. And I just don't know some of the particulars of each of the, in the subgenres of heavy music. Like a lot of the screechiness, I kind of wonder if that came from the mathcore or if that's just kind of, I notice a lot of newer metalcore kind of doing that too, and I don't like that either. So I don't know if it's just kind of the evolution of how metalcore is evolving, and your boy is just not ready for that. That could be. That could be. But yeah, the metallic sounds in here were awful for my head. Like my brain hated that. And as you can imagine, it was throughout. But there were some where like the mixing had a little like less abrasive, and then a lot of times though it was kind of up in the front where it just really just feels like nails on a chalkboard to my brain. The vocals themselves were pretty dope throughout. I liked those. This might just be a tad too abrasive for me sound-wise. Lyrics, I didn't really look into any of the lyrics on anything on this album. Pretty solid feature from Vincent Bennett on track 10. That was cool. If I had to pick a favorite and a least favorite, I think Angel was my favorite, and an easy least favorite is Death Without Departure, just because it's an in-between track. And I really didn't feel like that did much leading up to In Revolving Doors. I did like that they played around with that last half of In Revolving Doors and kind of added something a little different sounding to the sound that they built here. I thought that was cool. Man, I don't know where I'm going to put this thing though, because obviously with the brain breaking sounds, that's kind of a little bit of a deal breaker for your boy. But again, there were highlights on this album as well. The drumming is just fantastic throughout this. I loved where that was at in the mixing. But on first listen, I think this is probably going to get a flat. Oh man, I don't know where the hell to put this thing, because even stuff like the more abrasive, with the songs with more abrasive sounds, they're kind of in the middle rather than like bad for me. I should just look at an average here of kind of my ratings I did jot down. I didn't share any of these ratings just because, again, on first listen, I wanted to kind of digest it. I could already tell from the first track that I was like, I'm going to need to digest this quite a bit before I can really give a solid foundation of ratings. And that's the problem with reacting in general, is you're getting the music on first impression. And a lot of times with heavier music, I always got into my heavy music live. So I'd see a band, they'd blow me away, and then I'd go check out their music. So that's kind of how I always did with heavy music. So on first reaction, a lot of times with your heavier styles, it just doesn't sell as good for me as it does live. And then I would 100% see this band live, though. 100%. Let's go with I'm going to go with a flat 5 here. I don't know which way to take this, to be honest with you. I think that there's definitely some talent here. However, some of the sounds just are no-goes for my brain. And it's unfortunate. It is what it is. I don't wish anything bad on the artists, obviously. Shout out to Chamber. Guys, if you enjoyed this, make sure you're sharing it with your friends, your family. Scare the shit out of your family. Especially if you have a normal family, you know what I mean? Like my parents, if I showed them this, they'd be like, what the fuck are you listening to? So make sure you share it with those people too, just for fun. just for fun. But make sure you support the artists, especially in this day and age with AI slop becoming more and more being pushed on everybody. it's nice to see actual artists kind of doing their own thing and being, just put in the time and effort into it. So you got to give them credit there for sure. But yeah, go on Bandcamp, support the band. As for me, you can hit that like down below. But I really am more just curious on what the opinions are on the general consensus from the community. So please drop that down in the comments. I want to see how far off I am compared to a lot of you guys. I'm Pyro. This has been Chambers. This is goodbye. Flat 5 from your boy. But curious to see what you guys think. Until next time, peace.